That is why we would rather help a dog than a hungry child. Surely you also know about child hunger and, no doubt, about the millions of young children who die around the world. Right? This is a world of hunger, although some people, especially those in rich countries, do not realize its true extent. But yes, it is true. It is said that acute hunger kills 11 children per minute in the world, with 38 million malnourished children in crisis areas. Yes. This is a world of extreme food poverty, which causes high mortality rates. Besides hunger, malnutrition causes stunted growth, what we define as stunting, anemia, lack of energy, and a weakened immune system. It is shocking, isn't it, to see people starving, particularly nowadays, in 2026. It is shocking to see children dying of hunger all the time, isn't it? It seems that we, human beings, are not capable of helping each other in a humane way, isn't it? Our human hearts are not capable of helping another human being completely and unconditionally. Isn't that true? Many people would rather save a dog than another human being like themselves. Sometimes, we humans feel much more sadness when we see animals suffering than when we see other human beings, our fellow humans, suffering, don't we? Some serious studies show that there is less empathy for a human being brutally beaten than for a puppy. People, or rather, we humans, prefer to help an animal, say, a dog, than another human being like us. Why would people choose to help dogs and not human beings, hungry children, naked children, or sick and poor people? Why would most people choose to help animals and not people? In fact, there are people who prefer to help animals and not people because people, or human beings, do not possess the same unconditional and pure qualities as animals or dogs. People are selfish, deceitful, and ungrateful, and that's why we don't like to help people. This is the idea that has been considered. Humans are more likely to show love for animals, such as dogs and cats, than for other humans, their equals. Humans feel freer and less pressured when loved by an animal than when loved by a person. Children die of hunger, or even people die of poverty, but it is very difficult for others to open their wallets and help them, because human beings have a character that can sometimes be defined as treacherous, ungrateful, and wicked. With animals or dogs, love and kindness are pure and unconditional. That is the difference. Rich people, or anyone, prefer to help an animal rather than a human being. A puppy is much more valuable than a skeletal, starving 5-year-old child crying for bread. The animal is kind, and the human being first needs to cultivate their heart so that it becomes kind, and that is why few, very few, feel compassion for poor people, hungry and dying children. Is all this logical and justifiable? Undoubtedly, the experiences of our world demonstrate that people are more capable and would choose, at any given moment, a dog in a difficult situation than a starving child crying for bread and salvation. Dogs love their owners unconditionally, which is the opposite of a human being, because a human being always demands reciprocity, a condition, or something similar when demonstrating love or anything of the sort. It seems absurd and unacceptable, but the reality of the world is heading directly in that direction. Human beings choose an animal, a dog, a cat, or something else, and not another human being. Tranquility and harmony in the human world seem unattainable, since we prefer to love an animal, a dog, a cat, a hamster, instead of a human being. Isn't that true? How can we desire peace and equality if we do not trust each other and do not want to accept that the love we dedicate to one another is unconditional? Children die of hunger, and this does not draw attention to humans compared to the suffering of animals. Basically, humans love and help animals much more often than other humans. That is, it is better to save a dog in danger than a child in the same situation. In other words, humans feel more empathy for animals suffering due to their innocence and vulnerability, in contrast to the complexity and disappointments often found in human relationships. However, no one disputes that the unconditional nature of animals lies in the fact that they do not judge, do not demand, and offer loyal companionship. Thus, it is not by chance, nor is it indisputable, when we hear, "A dog is man's best friend." Furthermore, animals do not manipulate or act with ulterior motives. Animals awaken a protective instinct. Life shows us that we, human beings, betray each other constantly and frequently. Human betrayals and cruelties lead to estrangement between people and closer relationships with animals. People distance themselves from each other to avoid disappointment, betrayal, abuse, lies, and so on, opting instead for unconditional love for animals, such as dogs and cats. In this way, certain animals occupy an emotional place like that of family members, facilitating the exchange of affection. It is sad to talk about this. Human relationships are full of imperfections, disappointments, flaws, and defects that prevent a true relationship of trust and authenticity. Despite this, love for human beings should not be compared or placed on the same level, since animals do not yet possess political or legislative rights in human political societies. In other words, animals do not enjoy human laws, that is, they are not protected by human laws, but until that happens, perhaps in the future. Without a doubt, animals are not human beings and do not deserve to be treated the same way as humans, and human values or characteristics should not be attributed to them, although valuing animals is also a virtue. In other words, animals deserve protection and dignified treatment, but even so, they should not be treated the same way as humans, and when it comes to saving lives, we should always prioritize humans. We do not question, scientifically or philosophically, that animals have the capacity to feel pain and suffering, just like human beings, and that they are protected by laws that defend and protect them, but animals are animals and do not have the same legal status as human beings. Let us be clear, although dogs are treated with a lot of empathy and legal protection, they do not have the same legal rights as human beings. The law recognizes the biological difference, but emphasizes the moral and ethical obligation to ensure the well-being and dignity of animals. Nowadays, we see people strolling with expensive and luxurious baby strollers, but instead of babies, they carry dogs. Some of these dogs and baby strollers do not have health problems or are unable to move on their own. It is simply human love for dogs to the point of humanizing them. Putting a dog in a baby stroller without physical need, such as limitations, paraplegia, or advanced age, is not considered normal or healthy and is criticized for preventing natural exercise, exploration of the environment, and mental stimulation. The excessive use of baby strollers can deprive dogs of physical benefits, promoting a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, and joint problems. Nowadays, it is very common to see a well-dressed dog, with clothes and shoes, sleeping comfortably or sitting in a baby stroller. Would a human being forego buying a baby stroller for their dog to donate that money to a child crying because they have nothing to eat? This is undoubtedly a complex question that puts our human values to the test. Please help the hungry children of the world. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Water.